If you're under 13, piss off.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Angry Dave's Adult RC. I'm your host, Sergeant Hulka. Today we're here with the Gmade Buffalo kit. I already got all the boring bits of the build out of the way. Now we're kind of coming to the end. And I started to assemble the wheels, and I noticed that they are the same black plastic rally wheels as my Gmade sawback. And those are fucking shiza, because when I put them together, they did that. I let them sit overnight, came back the next day, and they're fucking exploded. So they're cheap pieces of junk. So I got some RC four-wheel drive rally wheels, but the Buffalo tires don't fit. So I went back to the sawback tires, tried those out, and they actually fit pretty good. They look halfway decent on there, so I think we're going to go with that. So let's go ahead and get the last two mounted, and then we'll get them on the truck. These really aren't bad looking tires. I kind of like the tread. They're fairly aggressive. They have kind of a utilitarian military look to them. So let's get this one onto a wheel. Alright, so there we go. Got all four mounted, and they look pretty good on there. Obviously, I do still need to paint them olive drab green. That's going to be the color of the whole truck. But now it is time to go ahead and start effing with the body. Wheels are on it. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you do use these RC four-wheel drive wheels on a Buffalo, the stock wheels are thicker in the hub area right here, so I had to put a bit of a spacer behind the wheel nut so that it would tighten the wheel down, otherwise you run out of threads. So yeah, okay, like I was saying, back to getting the body painted. This one's going to be pretty straightforward. I think I'm going to paint the inside of it silver. I'm going to paint the outside of it flat olive drab, so that as it gets scratched, it'll expose silver metal, and then I can start to rust and weather those parts to kind of give it some beat up look over time. I could also just keep touching it up, because that's what the military usually does, just keep spraying over the scratches, and that could give it a bit of a realistic look over time as well. So we'll see which way we want to go when we get there. Alright, so the directions say cut it out next, and then start drilling holes. But I think I'm going to do it the opposite because I want to let all the structural integrity of the extra plastic remain while I'm drilling holes, and then I'll cut it out. Alright, so I went ahead and pre-numbered all of the holes that need to be drilled so I don't have to keep referencing the directions. I'm going to pilot the holes with the reamer a little bit and then hit them with a drill bit so I can get the exact size. Now that all the holes are drilled, I can take the Lexan reamer and clean up the insides of the holes, make sure there's no burrs. Then it'll be upstairs to wash it. Actually, I was wrong about that. First, before we wash it, we're going to cut it out. Then we're going to wash it. First thing I do when I cut out a body is break out the curved, generally, Lexan shears, and then I cut out the whole body about a 1/4 inch away from the actual cut line. Alright, so now to finish cutting it out here. So, everybody likes to argue about fucking shears or fucking score and snap. It's a stupid fucking argument because I think they both have their place. So, like, excuse me, right here, we need to cut up and over and then back down, and it's radiused. The best way to do that is to pre-drill the radius with your reamer or drill bit, and then score and snap with the razor blade. Any real long straight lines that you want to be really crisp, like the bottom of the rocker panel, across the bottom of the door and shit like that, score and snap is a great way to do that. You use like a metal or a hard plastic ruler, make sure you're good and secure, and then score and snap, and you'll have a dead straight line. It's awesome. But when you're doing something like a wheel opening, it's really easy to get off track with that razor blade and fuck your body up. So you got to be insanely good and confident with a blade to be able to do curves and shit like that with score and snap. So that's when I break out the shears. The best way I find to do it is get about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch away from your cut line. Then as you're cutting, go very slow and you have to peel away the stuff that you want to kind of curl it up and away from as you cut, and that'll keep your cut clear enough to give you enough control with the shears so that it doesn't look like a fucking machine tried to eat the plastic. There we go, see? Nice and crisp. Now we'll do a score and snap on the rocker. So now that I have everything all sprayed, I think the only thing left I still have to do is I'm going to throw some shrink wrap on the outside so I can spray the inside black, and that's the last thing I have to do. Then I can go ahead and peel the window masks inside and out. The only things I really had to mask here were the tail light and headlight buckets to paint them chrome, and then I also did the wiper blades so that they're actually black. But that's really it. So I'm going to get that shit sprayed, get it peeled, and start screwing shit on. There we go, everything's painted, ready to install. So now I just gotta bust open the bag of hardware and start popping shit on that body. So as you can see, I got the wheels painted. And now it's time to do the chassis. The military basically just hoses everything with paint, so that's more or less what I'm going to do. Obviously the shit that's taped is stuff that I don't want paint on, like the shock shafts and some of the drive shaft joints and a few other key places. But other than that, everything's getting douched. So there it is, all completely hosed down in olive drab, completely assembled, all the accessories on. Came out pretty good. Very green everywhere. Fart in my chair here. Creaky old piece of shit. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, actually came out pretty good. So yeah, actually wasn't a bad build. Pretty reasonable kit. Directions were decent. Bit of a pain in the ass to paint because of all the fucking olive drab, but not that bad. Well, the only thing really left to make it a functioning truck is electronics. There's no servo, and it's missing a couple other things, but it's built, so it's ready to go as soon as I get some shit. So I guess next time we get some parts orders placed, we'll get a few bits and pieces put into this thing and actually get it functional, and take it for a trail run. So if you like that, hit the like button, leave us a comment, check us out on our social media pages, and we'll see you next time on Adult RC, where grown-up time is playtime.